So I'm aiming to have a very practical workshop with you guys, and it's all about the CV, and is a very important platform for our job search. I'm open to any questions, and in general, maybe we'll keep some of them to the end, but in general, it will be two parts of a presentation. First, I will show you a presentation with concise tips and information about the best way to approach CV writing, okay? The next part, I would love to have some more interaction with you and the ones who will want to share with us as a group, as a team, their version of CV. We can all review it together, not deep diving for sure. We don't have the time to do it, and it's not the right way to do it in such a big team, but we can have some fresh and real-time examples of the to-do and not to-do stuff with the CV, okay? Make sense? Yofi. Okay. So, thank you, Nikita. Okay, great. So I will start with the presentation. Just one word about myself, like very shortly. I enjoyed through all of my career to be in recruiting and in HR, and I really love it. It's my passion. I left the corporate, like the high-tech corporate world, that was my main career, like 9 years ago. But I'm still actively recruiting and headhunting for either high-tech, but also other industries. So I can like be sure to say that I'm very much, in touch of what's going on now in the market and the job-seeking market. So again, I will do my best to help with everything concerning CV. And let's start with the presentation. If I will ask you if someone is like feeling comfortable or brave enough to say from your experience of any, maybe interesting feedback or advice or strange or weird advice that you got until today concerning your CV. I assume some of you already did a lot of work and advised and Googled the CV issues, but maybe some of you didn't, and are feeling a bit fresh about it. Anyone wants to share with us any specific advice that is in his mind right now concerning CV writing? Not yet. Okay. That's fine. Okay. So I will just say in general that our way to perceive the CV, our CV, if it's effective, if it's good, it's always a relative issue. It's never an absolute issue. The CV is not showing us to the world as who we are, our essence and value and full, skills and potential. It's always relative to the situation of a specific job opportunity and our apply. So it's always about the other candidates that are applying, the hiring manager expectation and emphasis, and also the relevance in general to the specific job opportunity. Maybe this is, clear, but we have to keep it in mind because there are quite a few elements that are not in our control and we cannot change or do better. It's come with the reality. But what we will focus now on this short presentation is, of course, all about the stuff and the point that we can address and do the best, about. So here we have 4 slides about the CV writing guidelines, very, basic, the most important, but again, practical guidelines for from top to down, how to build our CV, okay? So we start always with the contact information, our name and phone number, for sure, email, and a link for LinkedIn if it's applicable. And we'll talk about it, about the LinkedIn, but just in a word, but you can always attach it, especially if you are in the more technical or high-tech industry. Then you have, we recommend the CV writing advisors, consultants, to give the title of your main direction at the headline, or to put a promo, a summary of few bullets that are briefly pointing out what you are looking for. Okay, maybe it sounds again obvious, but I'm seeing a lot of CVs that don't have the promo, and I'm a bit confused. It might seem not aligned or connected to the opening, the position that I'm hiring for. So it's very important to have this promo or summary at the top. Then we go to the work experience. We always do in chronological order from now and backwards. You start with the most recent job. You include the year of employment, your job title, the company name, and the location. No need to go deep diving to the city or specific region. The country is enough. Then you use, we are recommending, and I will show you example, to use action verbs, meaning to use the ing form. It's not that I developed, I'm developing, and I will show you examples. This is specific for CV writing, this recommendation, okay? The last one is to use as much as we can the numbers and specific to quantify the achievements, okay? Any questions? Yofi. Concerning the education, start with your highest level of education and also include relevant certification and additional training. Then we come to achievement and awards that can come right after the education. The skills, the hard technical skills, is also very important for all the opportunities that are around IT or high-tech or technical arena. And if it's relevant, and only if it's relevant, we can add our volunteer work and other activities only if it's relevant for the specific position. Otherwise, the Israeli culture is a bit, we are not recommending to put it if it's not connecting to the specific job opportunity. Okay. What about keywords and tailoring? It's super important to tailor our resume for each job application. So it might be a bit of a headache if we are a bit versatile, right? But assuming our direction is not is quite clear, it's not tailoring a new CV for each application. It's just making sure that we are using the right keywords for the specific job opportunity. And mainly, I'm recommending to edit the promo, the beginning of the CV. The experience is usually, we can keep the same, but the promo, the beginning, must be adjusted and tailored toward the specific opportunity. Also important to keep the layout clean and organized. We usually, most of us recommend to use Arial font as both Hebrew and English, minimum 10.5 size of the letter. Don't make it too small. and hard to read. The most common font size is 11 or 12. We also recommend to use bullet points. It makes your CV much more readable. It's much more easy for me to read it when it's organized in the bullet points. Before sending the CV, always check again and read it, at least, not the day that you write it, but give it 1 or 2 days to proofread it, and also give it to someone to give you a feedback, and make sure you are consistent and it looks the best you can. Okay, last slide about the general guidelines. Keep your CV, we say, do the best to keep your CV 1 page, okay? If you have more than 15 years of experience, it's okay to make it 1.5, usually not more than that. I know that some recommend strictly to keep it on 1 page. I can say from experience, again, from the CV writing experience in English, that since English is 30% more taking space more than Hebrew, we are okay with making it, with recommending on more than 1 page if you have more than 10 or 15 years of experience. Again, the best way, the leading recommendation is 1 page. References, we are not putting details in the CV, only pointing out that we can give references upon request. It's very much common in recruiting processes to be asked for someone who will recommend us. Usually it's the last stage before getting an offer. Be mindful for the ATS, the applicant tracking systems that most of the company are using. This is why it's so important to use the relevant keywords, and also to bear in mind that the recruiter has my CV. If I already applied, he has the previous version. So if I change something that is significant, it might be shown, and I should be aware, okay, not to avoid being perceived as not authentic or misleading, okay. And of course, in general, just to make sure that our CV is updated, any important learning courses, skills, job, for sure, make sure that your CV is most updated. Yeah, because it's really shown if it's not updated and we have gaps. Okay, moving on. Any question until now? Okay, always focus on numbers and results. Yeah, we did have these tips. This is correct. Being concise and being result-oriented is very important, and give a good impression. Yeah, this is your remark, Nikita Spector.
Yeah, that's just a question. Maybe there is some kind of life hack. Like, okay, if you have 2 pages CV, maybe there is some kind of way to make it more readable, or to make a signal to HR, like, hey, like, it's worth it to read it,
A great approach. How much time do you think Nikita, is HR, recruiter, or hiring manager, is giving for your CVs, is screening your CV? For how long?
I don't know, 20 seconds.
Okay, 20 seconds is a lot. I mean, it is an okay number to assess, but there are CVs that it's 5 to 10 seconds. Definitely, if you are perceived as relevant, I will put more time. I will put few minutes or even more if it perceived to be relevant. So the answer to that is if your CV is perceived to be relevant, definitely in the more technical or more senior positions, I will definitely give it time, and more than one page will not be a showstopper at all. But if the reason for you to have a more than one page CV is because you are very verbal and you give me a lot of details, I might, it might harm your way to the next stage. Okay, so being concise is definitely, according also to the Israeli culture, an advantage. Yes, Ludmila.
For example, if we have a situation that one of our network members tells you, I don't know what positions do we have now, but I'm in a good relationship with HRD or someone like that, just give me your CV, and your skills could be transformed into 2 or 3 different positions actually that could be needed in this company. For example, internal communications, product marketing, and I don't know, marketing research. Okay. So what is better, to give 3 separate CVs for each type of position, so to make one, maybe they have something that requires every type of that skills, but I don't know that they need it.
Well, it's important, but not just so simple a question, because we have a few layers here. I recommend, first of all, for you as a candidate to have a preference, to have a direction, to be clear what is your first choice. Okay, because you have to consider that a recruiter for a company is often in charge of a few openings. And if a candidate is coming and say, I can be a product manager, I can be marketing, product marketing, I can be an HR, and it's okay to do public relations, you will be perceived as someone who is not focused enough. It will not benefit you. So I recommend to choose one main direction and to focus, to give all your energy and attention to this direction. And once you are engaging, coming to the point of face-to-face over Zoom or a meeting with a recruiter or hiring manager, then you can be more sure, is it the right direction? You can put on the table the fact that you are versatile, or you will be happy to explore one more direction. Okay. Nikita.
You mentioned that you have to be careful when changing CV, for example, for different positions at the same company. So, and for example, there might be situations when, for example, there are positions for senior level in the company and entry level. And for example, if I have 5 years experience in some field, and this might be senior position, I can like put it into CV, into summary, that I have 5+ years of project management, for example. Okay. However, for senior position, I mean, for example, this project management experience might be from customer success position. So actually, if you had previously been customer success and you made some projects for the clients, so it might be counted as a project management experience. And for example, if you apply to project management position, you can say that you have like 5+ year of experience, but in case it's an entry level, it might be overqualified. So my question is, if, for example, company has a senior level position, you apply to it, you write that you have 5+ year of experience. Then, for example, you want to apply to entry level position, and you want not to see like overqualified, and you like write 3+ year experience in project management. Is it okay, or it's not a good thing to do like that?
Yeah, it's a catch. In general, I'm not recommending to put numbers on the experience of any but what you are pointing out is your dilemma because you want to pursue or search for a more senior position, like as you said, project manager or customer success with quite a few years, or an entry level, which is a different agenda and strategy. I will definitely do a different versions of CVs, and I will not advise you to approach the same company in such a range, okay? Decide, choose, okay? You can go to one company as a junior and tailor your CV accordingly, stating you are looking for entry position and being very clear and focused that this is a position you are looking for, but you can, at the same time, to another company, approach as a project manager with experience, okay? It will not go together at the same company, so you have to choose. Judith, I'm with you.
Yes, good afternoon. Tzvia, right?
Yeah, Tzvia. And by the way, everyone is invited to connect with me over LinkedIn after this meeting, because as we know, it's very important to enlarge your networking, and I have a lot of connection since I'm HR for many years. Okay, yeah, Judith.
Yes.
Okay.
So my question is related to how can I identify keywords related to the Israel market, for example? I know according to my career, according to my professional experience, but how can I identify?
Very good question, and the answer is very simple. Just look at the job description.
Mm-hmm.
Carefully read the job description, and this is advice not only for the CV, also for getting prepared for an interview. The job description is actually showing you what's important for the company concerning everything, skills, hardcore technical background, amount of experience, personality traits, etc. So keywords are always aligned with the job description. Okay.
Okay. And the last
in this presentation, another way to check keywords. Yeah.
Nice. Thank you. And the last question is, if you have an example with these interesting tips that you recommend, it could be easier to understand all of them that you recommend.
Sure. I always, as I said at the beginning, my intention is to do some screening together with you on your actual CVs, and I will also can share an example. But you know, it's good CV is not looking the same. I mean, it can show your personality. The visual side of it can vary and be different. But the main recommendation and guidelines are important for all. Okay, but we'll see some examples. Okay, last one is great. Ina, before we continue, last one.
Yes,
yeah.
I have a question. Here in Gvahim, we hear that we shouldn't put information like residence and our status, but recently I sent my CV to a former colleague of mine, and he said, please put your residential and marriage, like married +2 in my case. And actually, I saw it in many, for many Israeli, they have it in their CV. How?
Yeah,
because
okay.
I understand it's not the crucial information for the recruiter, but I want to look like Israeli to be here.
Oh, so Nachon, so it's a very good question, because we have here the gap between the professional guidelines and the reality or expectation that are part of the culture here. So it's true that most of the hiring managers, more than the recruiter, most of the hiring managers are interested in your marital status, and most of the recruiters and hiring manager are interested in your location. But we have here I recommend to look to approach it like from your side, like what is supporting you and what is not. So about the marital status, I'm not recommending to put. I know that quite a lot of Israelis are giving it, and there is some psychological attitude in Israel culture that is very much towards being a part of a family or having a partner, especially if you are not very young. But I don't recommend to put it because it's not relevant, okay? The second issue of geographical location, yeah, you can put it, but if you are located in Nahariya or Jerusalem, unfortunately also, or if you are located not at the center of Israel, it might not be on your benefit, and I want it to be something that the recruiter will have to call you to check, okay? Because this is a more possibility for interaction. I don't want your location to be a showstopper for the recruitment process, okay?
Okay.
So bottom line, I will avoid the marital status. I recommend to avoid or not to put, okay? But geographical, you can put. If it's, or if you know for sure that you are open only to North Israel opportunities, yeah, you can put.
No, just because in Rome, to be Roman in Rome, like to be Israeli in Israel, just to show that.
So you put the finger. It's true that a lot of Israelis are putting the marital status and the geographical, but it's okay not to put it. It's not a weird or strange if you don't put it. A lot are not putting it, so it's kind of it's not a black and white.
Thanks.
Feel comfortable not to put it. This is the bottom line. Okay, great. So just 2 slides on addressing the common mistakes. So again, make sure that your CV is tailored and adjusted to the specific opportunity. Avoid being too formal. Informal is usually not a problem in Olim Chadashim. And do the best to be concise. Do the best not to be too verbal, not to be ambiguous. Be very to the point and concise. This is very much aligned with the Israeli culture. Personal information, be very short with it. Also in interviews, only if you are asked. And definitely in CVs, you don't have to put actually personal information. Be very focused, okay? Okay, neglecting online presence, just maybe, again, it's clear to you, but I'm advising you strongly to have a LinkedIn page, to advise with people, with your Gvahim consultant or anyone else, or Google or YouTube. You have a lot of recommendation. Have a LinkedIn page, have a presence in the social network that is relevant for job searching. Okay, if it's not relevant for your specific direction, it's not applicable to you, but most of us need it. Make the best to show yourself organized. I get a lot of CVs of very talented people that are not didn't put enough time to make it look nice and organized and everything in place. So use different fonts or not. I can see that they didn't put enough time to make it look right. So do it, and always ask people, get feedbacks, okay, from friends, from experts, from consultants, from recruiters. It's super helpful, and you can learn a lot just from getting feedbacks, okay? Okay, we are almost there with the presentation. So very simply, just 4 main tips for a good CV writing. So yeah, as Anastasia said before, the last point is to use to mention quantitative achievements, and this is aligned with being very to the point and professional. But also the three first one are general and also, I assume, clear. So be clear and concise. Make it easy to read, okay? Tailor to the job, super important. I can see immediately candidates who are focusing on the position that I published or looking for, versus the applicant that just send me the CV like they sent to 100 other places without specifically checking that they are addressing what I wanted, what I asked for, a specific platform, a specific programming language, a specific past experience. And they can easily do it just by tailoring the CV for the eyes of the recruiter for the specific position, okay? You have to give the time and work, but it's not complicated. Okay, and the last one is to be well formatted and organized, as we said before. Very technical, very easy. I recommend in this aspect, but also other aspects, to use ChatGPT, and I will give you example of how friendly and amazingly effective is the use of ChatGPT in our CV writing. Okay, I will show you an example. Okay. Before that, just in general, the cover letter is not a must. Actually, your CV, your promo, CV promo is your cover letter, because the promo is stating in 4 or 5 bullets who you are, what you bring to the table to a specific position. Okay, this is actually a cover letter, but some companies ask for a cover letter, and if you are approaching or applying through email, then the body of the mail is actually your cover letter. So just make it very short, 2 or 3 sentences, personal, short, introducing yourself, saying what position you are applying to, and attaching your CV for. If you can add a relevant accomplishment for this specific opportunity, if you know someone in the company, say you know the person, and say even like the best is to apply through this person, but name dropping is always can help or support. And be passionate, show motivation. This is actually also super important in interviews. And if you know of something that is going on with this company currently, you can mention it. It shows that you are very focused and updated. Okay, last issue that I'm addressing in this presentation before moving to the second part of our meeting is just the question about PDF or Word. Did you wonder, or did you do you have this dilemma? What kind of platform to use? What kind of doc? No? Okay. So in the past, we recommended on Word format because we said that not all of the applicant tracking system can screen Word format, and you might be like not screened or misunderstood or have a lower chance if you are not applying over Word. But in our current days, all high-tech companies and other industries as well have ATS as a tracking system that can screen and search a PDF like Word. So my recommendation is it's good to apply with Word for a PDF format. it preserve your formatting. It always look the best. The hiring manager in his lunch break or over her way to home over the train, on the train, they can screen your CV and see it exactly as you wanted them to see it. So I say my bottom line is okay to send PDF unless you are asked specifically to send a Word format. Also placement company that are mitigating between you and the company, in many cases ask for Word format just for them to put the logo of their company on your CV. So in cases that you are asked specifically for Word format, you can for sure give it. This is the end of the base presentation.